I was scrolling through Twitter last week when I saw the single most brilliant idea to get yourself to study. It came from a second-year high school student that wanted to attend the University of Tokyo, one of the most prestigious schools in Japan. How was he going to get himself to study? By playing a video game called Dark Souls 3. Anybody who's heard of or played the game knows how punishing Dark Souls can be. Dying in Dark Souls is as certain as you experiencing failure in your artist's journey. It will happen. This particular student decided to use that to his advantage by making himself study for 10 hours every time that he died in the game. The idea attracted a lot of viewers because it was funny, relatable, and it came with real stakes. This is the kind of attractive hook that draws people in and brings them together. Unfortunately, it wasn't the brilliant idea I thought it was when it comes to learning. It's actually a toxic process that does more harm than good. Now, whether the student made it into his prestigious school or not isn't really the point. He made studying a punishment, which creates all sort of problems for your future. When I first came across this idea, I really wanted to try it, and I'm sure a lot of people who tuned into his stream felt the same way. I can't focus, so I'm gonna play Dark Souls and force myself to study when I lose. What kind of relationship do you think you're gonna create with learning if you do this? I'll give you a hint. It's very similar to the kind of relationship you have with homework when you're in school. Traditional school teaches you to hate homework, and by extension, you end up hating school and learning itself. There's always too much to do and very little time to do it in. Homework ends up feeling like a punishment, and it turns into a toxic process which makes you hate learning. When learning feels like a punishment, you don't want to learn. And psychologists have shown that punishment is not an effective way to control behavior. You're only creating a more toxic relationship with learning. This leads to burnout, depression, and just a general distaste for whatever you are trying to do. At a certain point, you won't even make progress anymore. If you're an artist, drawing. And you may think this is something you can easily avoid, but a lot of us do this without realizing it. For example, you could say, if I don't draw today, I'll draw twice as much tomorrow. I'll only play video games after I draw. I'll stop watching this video in 2 minutes so I can draw. I won't do anything else until after I draw today. The punishment doesn't always have to be obvious or after the fact. For example, if you allow yourself to play Elden Ring only after you draw, you can turn drawing into a punishment. You're trapping the thing that you really want to do behind the thing that you struggle with. Your mindset and the way that you think about the process will determine if that relationship is toxic. You want to make drawing something you enjoy too. You don't want to make it something that's the opposite of what you do for fun. Imagine you had 2 camps, and for the sake of making it easy, one is Camp Awesome and one is Camp Awful. At Camp Awesome, you play Elden Ring, you eat chips, donuts, you get to watch anime, movies, and at Camp Awful, you draw. If you only get to spend time at Camp Awesome after you spend time at Camp Awful, or even worse, you have to leave Camp Awesome if you haven't spent enough time at Camp Awful, you're gonna start to hate Camp Awful. Eventually, you'll just decide to stay at Camp Awesome, even if Camp Awful was the place where you really wanted to be in the first place. The key to getting yourself to focus isn't by relying on some sort of punishment system. You have to develop a healthy relationship with the behavior that you want to perform. If you want to learn to draw, you have to teach yourself to enjoy it and practice mindfulness to overcome obstacles. If you list out your goals for the day, it's not enough to get you to work, and it can make you disappointed in your effort and progress if you don't reach those goals. You need systems to stay focused. A study showed that if you list out your goals for the day, potential obstacles that you'll face to get there, and how you'll deal with those obstacles, you'll be 1.5 to 3 times more likely to accomplish what you wanted for the day. And it also showed that you'd be significantly happier by doing so. If you gradually allow yourself to build a drawing habit, you can create a healthy relationship with art that allows you to be proud of your effort. You'll be drawing, you'll be happy about it, and you'll improve rapidly because of it. Mindfulness is your ability to bring awareness and attention to what you're doing. Habits may run your life, but you don't have to act as a passenger in your own mind. You have self-control. Use it to bring awareness and attention to the decisions that you're making. And even better, you can use that awareness and attention to divert your attention away from distractions that have become obstacles. For example, if you're going to draw at 10 a.m., but you see that there are tickets available for the new Batman movie at 10:15, you could indulge. But indulging makes you more susceptible to repeat the behavior of indulging instead of the behavior you want to do, which is the drawing. This is your moment of awareness and attention, being mindful of your decisions. Give yourself time for reflection. You can prove to yourself that you can get the drawing done and then go still see the movie if you still want to do that. It might seem like a waste of time, but if you end up spending 10 minutes drawing versus not drawing at all, it's worth it. The effort that you make to draw is a vote for the kind of person that you want to become. You're telling yourself again and again your identity is an artist. It doesn't mean you don't get to do the things that you want to do outside of drawing. It just means you commit to the time and place where you said that you would draw, like a professional artist would do. You show up for yourself and you create a system to accomplish your goals. That second-year high school student that was trying to get to the University of Tokyo, he never made it to that school. And while we can't say that that studying process led to his failure, we can learn a lesson from that idea. There's no secret trick to getting yourself to focus. You have to develop systems that create healthy relationships between yourself and the behaviors that you want to perform. If drawing becomes a punishment or a chore, you won't want to do it. And if you force yourself to do it, that relationship becomes toxic. It will lead into a fast decline in your mental health and a full stop to your progress. If you make drawing a reward, you turn it into something powerful. You're motivated without trying, and you're focused with very little effort. I'm not gonna lie, in the middle of this video game heaven, it is really hard to stay focused and draw. When there's fewer distractions of things that you want to do, it's a lot easier to sit down and focus. But there will always be distractions, whether it's one new game or 10. Build systems and practice mindfulness to harness all the focus you need, and you can become the professional artist that you desire. That's the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are struggling with focusing or you just want to talk about video games, leave a comment below. Have a happy and healthy creative process.